Let's talk about that morning huddle. Morning huddle is a 7-minute meeting before your first patient of the day. And I've been very granular about describing how long that meeting is. How long is it, Naren?
It's 7 minutes, Gary.
It's
7
7
minutes.
minutes.
Yes.
It's not 10 or 15. Because if it's 10 or 15 minutes, it's not a morning huddle anymore. But in fact, it's some other variation of a meeting. It's 7 minutes long. And I don't care how big your practice. We have clients that have large practices, and they're able to accomplish this morning huddle in 7 minutes. Now, some thoughts about the morning huddle. Number one, it's more about the people that are on our schedule than the process. There's a little bit of process involved. A little bit of process involved. By process, what I mean, we're reviewing what we're doing clinically on the patients today. So a little bit of that. But it's much more about the people that we're seeing. And we want to look for opportunities in the morning huddle with the patients that we're seeing today on our schedule. So it's more about the people than it is about the process. So we typically start, I recommend our clients start with quickly reviewing the morning huddle, quickly removing the hygiene schedule in the morning huddle. And what I mean by that is your hygienist needs to come to the meeting prepared. And your hygienist needs to know who requires exams in the schedule today and whether they have any unscheduled treatment plans. And they're not going to have time to do that in the meeting because that'll make the meeting drag out. They have to have looked at the digital chart and determined who needs exams and who has unscheduled treatment during as we're reviewing those patients. But imagine that we review each hygiene schedule very quickly. We then go on to the doctor's schedule, and the assistant will review what we're doing. Doctor might call out any unique materials or supplies that they might need that's not common based on a particular patient. That's part of that. We then review any new patients on our schedule today. Typically, the person that took the call is the one that reviews the new patients. So we talk about who they are, what we know about them. Maybe we know that George shared that he's a bit apprehensive during his dental appointments. Maybe that's something we share. So we talk about the new patients on our schedule today. If we're under goal, we look for opportunities to do same-day dentistry. So if we're under goal, typically the office manager will say, hey guys, we're $400 under our goal today. Let's look for opportunities together where we could do same-day dentistry on our patients today. If we're above goal, we celebrate that. Hey guys, it looks like if the schedule holds today, we're going to be about $1,200 above goal. Way to go. But we still might look for opportunities to enhance that, especially if the schedule moves at all during the day, as it can sometimes happen. And then we finish that morning huddle with what I think is the most important part of this meeting. We finish the morning huddle, doctor would say something like, okay, I want everyone to look at today's schedule. So it could be up on a 60-inch plasma monitor where the schedule, or if you're older school, it could be printed up on paper. I want everyone to look at the daily schedule. And I want you to nominate together, let's nominate whose life are we going to change today? Whose life, based on the people we're seeing today, whose life are we going to change today? And then we'll together nominate, and it could be something clinically. Maybe we're seating a beautiful smile design case, and we know that it's going to be life-changing when that patient looks in the mirror for the first time. Or it could be behavioral. Something maybe we know that a particular patient needs a little bit more support. Maybe we know something's happened in their life and need a little bit more support. Or it could be something celebratory, something to celebrate, Darren. It could be a patient that we know, maybe we read about it in the local paper that she won an award and we want to recognize her for that. Or maybe a patient that, like me, is a runner and they just won their age group in the local marathon. We're going to celebrate that with them. So any number of different ways we could choose a patient for whose life we're going to change today. Can you see how ending that meeting puts some intention around it, and it really focuses on ever developing a relationship-driven practice?
Oh, absolutely, Gary. I think that last piece of whose life you're going to change today, I think gives a meaning to like the day, right? Like especially a lot of the people you're going to be working with, your team members, are millennials. And I think the number one thing that drives millennials is purpose. You're giving them purpose. I mean, this is like if you work for Amazon or some other place, there's no purpose. When you're delivering somebody, you're not changing anybody's life. I mean, you're helping them buy more crap. Here, you are literally changing people's lives and just reminding them that, making them feel excited about why they, got up in the morning and dropped their kid off at, daycare and came here. I think this is a very powerful way to start the day.
Let me suggest something you can do to turbocharge this morning meeting, this morning huddle. Let's assume we're doing this with technology. We have a flat screen monitor.
Mhm.
Assign one of your team members to have the clicker, to advance the arrow, the mouse. And as you're reviewing each patient, pull up the digital note card where you have personal information about the patient. Spouse's name, kids' names, dog name, hobbies, interests, college they went to. Just pull that up. So as we're reviewing each patient, we can quickly remind ourselves who's coming today. And if you're doing it according to the way I've recommended you do this, in the lower right-hand corner of that digital note card, we have a capital letter, a capital D, a capital I, a capital S, or a capital C. And we identify that patient's dominant DISC personality style. And that can be very useful as we interact with that patient through the day. And all that can be done very quickly as we go through the morning huddle. Remember, again, this has to be done in 7 minutes or less. Ideally, every one of your team members is there for the morning huddle. In the perfect world, every one of your team members is there. And by the way, they're not just there, they're ready to go at the start of that meeting. They're not reviewing their records. They've done their homework ahead of time. Now, if you do have team members, for whatever reason, can't be there at the morning huddle, I understand that. I used to be less understanding about that, Aaron. I'm more understanding about that today, especially if there's a good reason. One of the common reasons would be we have a single parent who isn't able to drop her kid or kids off, her children off at latchkey because latchkey isn't open enough, early enough. I understand that. You know what? I can be very accommodating to that. If that's the case, then set what time that team member is going to be there. Assign a big sister, a team member in your practice, that will take notes relative to the team member that can't be there. And the first thing she does when she checks in, she clocks in, she goes to her big sister, and her big sister tells her anything that happened in the morning huddle that pertains to her. So I'm happy making that adjustment to accommodate team members that need a little bit of accommodation regarding their challenges in terms of getting there on time. If they can't get up on time and they're tardy, that's not an excuse, Darren.
I
That
agree.
wasn't going to fly. Yeah, but if they have a legitimate reason, then we'll work with them to come up with a alternate format by coming in at a set time, and then they'll check in with their big sister to be brought up to speed. That's how she's getting on the boat, right? That's how
Right.
she's on the boat. All right, that's the morning huddle.